Yay! Episode 6. Whoop, 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 whoop. Going strong.
Yeah, tell niggas you love them. You hear me? Spread the love, man.
And we are back. Welcome back to my podcast, Thoughts of an Overthinker, with your host, Makai Iman. On this podcast, before we start getting into the nitty gritty and the discussion at hand, I like to pick a word or have a word of the day where I try to use that word throughout the episode. So, or somewhere in the episode, at least. If I could get it somewhere in this episode, that's a win for me. So the word for today is dubious. I actually feel like I might know what this means. Oh, hesitating or doubting. Honestly, I thought dubious meant something evil, oh, they're dubious, suspicious. What's the definition? Hesitating or doubting. Dubious. Alex looked dubious but complied. I don't like this word, so I'm gonna change it. Huh? What? I can't even change it. It's just one word, so I have to use this word. Fine. Dubious is the word. Whatever. So today I wanted to discuss rebranding ourselves, and not just rebranding ourselves once, but maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Maybe we keep rebranding ourselves every year, every so often. Because that's me. And I wanted to talk about it because I actually have a meeting with one of my professors about this. Because one night I was just thinking to myself, dang, I really, people give me my flowers for going after the things that I want in life and really trying to turn my life into what I see fit, what I want for myself. Just saying things like, I see you doing your thing and I'm really proud of you, keep going, that sort of thing. And I'm really appreciative of that. It really does mean a lot, because I do get moments where I'm just kind of in my own head and wonder if does any of it matter? Are people even going to watch it? Do they even care to watch it? And I kind of manipulated myself into thinking that I don't care whether or not people see me, watch me, care about what I have to say. And I think they do. But I don't want that to be the deciding moment of whether or not I continue to put out the work that I want to create. I don't want that to hold me back. I don't want it to limit myself. Is rebranding yourself over and over and over again, going through a rebrand, moment. Is that a bad thing? Is it bad to keep changing up what you're doing and finding something new to focus on and doing that and not letting go of what you started completely, but just switching gears constantly? Because I see people talk about it all the time, and I think that it's a real thing. Sometimes we do have to start over, or start from a different point of view, or just change directions, change gears a little bit. The simple answer, no, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just me figuring out what I want to do, how it's going to look, and what kind of life I want to live in the long run. I think I'm just figuring out what matters to me, the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I want to continue to do and make and create and whatever, because I'm only 23. I'm in my 20s, my early 20s at that. I don't care. 23 is early 20s. I'm in my early 20s, and I feel like the number one thing that I've been running into is myself. Less of problems with other people and more resistance, having to confront myself, inner conflicts. That's what I've been running into, and it all kind of surrounds my life, and it's what else would it surround? But I mean not oh, I can't decide what I'm gonna wear today, or oh my gosh, should I buy a car, or I don't know, not things material basically, but things that are what make who I am and who I want to be in the future. A lot of those type of questions and thoughts and anxieties and fears have been coming up since I entered my 20s, since I've graduated. So it's kind of and right now I'm just thinking about all the different things that I started, all the plans that I want to start, all the ideas that I have had. You know, I've wanted to be a content creator for a while. I've always it didn't have a name when I first wanted to make content. It didn't have a name. It was just like people making videos on Vine and whatever the popular app was at the time. And now it actually has a title. It actually has like, it's a job, you know, like you can do that. And now I'm trying to do it, but also before I really focused in on being a content creator, I was trying to figure out what kind of content creator am I going to be? Who do I want to talk to? What kind of content creator do I want to be? Do I want to be the type that does get ready with me's? Do I want to be the type that vlogs? Do I want, you know? And for a little bit I was that person. I also used to make skits and things like that. And the thing is, I still love doing those things. It just did not fulfill that thing in me where it's like I want to do something that really matters to me, and it didn't really matter to me. Like, it was for fun and I like making people laugh, and but it wasn't fulfilling that, whatever the heck, that void. I don't know. It wasn't fulfilling whatever you try to fulfill throughout your life. I think you get what I'm trying to say, but whatever. It wasn't fulfilling that feeling. And so I kept changing, and I kept like trying to change directions. And I know for a long time I wanted to start a podcast, and I just started it, and I really am excited. Like, I'm really happy about this podcast. But I think to myself, I know this is not it. You know, this is not it. It doesn't just end with the podcast. It doesn't just start with it didn't just start with the podcast, and it doesn't just end with the podcast. The podcast is just one thing. And sometimes I get scared when I start new things because I'm afraid that I'm not going to stay consistent with it. I don't know if I think I did speak about consistency a little bit in one of my episodes, and how hard it is for me, because it is hard for me to stay consistent. That's something that I'm working on, and but still being true to who I am, and not trying to overdo it. Even though my simple answer is no, I don't think it's a bad thing to rebrand yourself over and over again. You can rebrand yourself as many times as you want to, but it's like I still feel this feeling where I don't know if I don't have anything to show for the things that I've done or that I've tried to do. And that worries me, because I feel like at one point in my life, I will look back at the things that I've accomplished, and if I don't have anything to show for it, did it really happen? Did it really matter? Will I actually be proud of myself? And I don't know. It's so early to even know the answer to that question, because I mean, I'm only 23. It's just something that I think about a lot. I just don't want to fall off track, because also I am an actress, and I went to school for acting. I've always wanted to be an actress, and that's something that I'm still working towards. But people see me now, and I feel like some people just give me my flowers and keep it pushing. But some people do question me. They question me about a lot of things, but they question like my efforts, and do I, if my efforts are not falling in this direction, like if it doesn't directly impact this goal of mine, am I really trying to get there? Like, if I'm focusing on my podcast right now, right, and I don't have an agent, I haven't done auditions in months, I don't really go see shows and things like that, does that mean that like I'm letting them down? Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like I have nothing to show for the things that I want to do. But it's also like, well, maybe that's just my my process of figuring out what I like, what I'm passionate about, and then figuring out how they all tie together. And at the same time, I don't have a lot of time. I'm like, people love to be so quick to judge your every move and decisions, and I think I'm trying to figure out where is that line, like okay, yes, I'm not following the standard, but is that okay that I'm still figuring out how I want to go about it? Because not everybody's acting journey is the same, and I know that. They taught me that in school. I know that to be true. Everyone does their own thing and gets to be on TV shows in different ways. I mean, they all come from like an audition, of course, but I mean, it may not be right now that I don't know. People expect me to, when I tell them that I'm an actress, and this is not an expectation that's like not reasonable. It's a reasonable expectation, but I'm just speaking about how I feel about it. And people expect me, when they find out I'm an actress, or they know that I've been claiming that, they know I went to school, whatever, they expect me to be doing auditions, to have an agent, to be doing the typical actor things, and I feel like people who are in the same field as me understand, like they don't make me feel bad. If I talk to another actor who's also in the same position where I'm like, we're trying to reach this goal, they don't make me feel bad about pursuing other passions, or make me feel bad about like the fact that I haven't been auditioning, because a lot of people can actually relate to that. A lot of actors can relate to that experience. And I look around sometimes at my life and I think to myself, like, dang, like my life does not reflect that. Like, I don't audition how much as I want to. It's just not what's happening right now. It's not me saying that I don't want to do it, or that I don't want to be an actress, or I have no interest in it. It's not me saying that at all. It's just that I'm focused on this thing right here, this thing right here. This is what has my attention right now, and that's just what it is. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's just what it is right now. And to that, I want to say that I am committed. I am committed to making myself happy. I'm committed to doing things that bring happiness in my life. I'm committed to that. I'm committed to Makai, right? So whatever it is that I'm want to do with my life, whatever it is I want to create, build, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to make it happen. And I'm just now learning to invest in myself. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. I bought the laptop. And this is the MacBook Pro. It's a 2020 edition, and I'm just so freaking proud of myself and happy. I think I bought something else. Oh, I did buy a external storage drive, whatever, just so I can have extra space. But I've been wanting this laptop for a long time. Oh, I also got the desk. That's what I meant to say. I also built the desk. I'm going to show all of that on my TikTok, because I'm very proud of the desk and this laptop. I'm just really proud of myself, because I believed in a vision, especially with that desk. People were like, how are you going to fit that in your room? And I made it fit, and it looks great. So I'm very proud of myself, and I built it by myself. That just makes me so happy, because I wanted to do something and I set out, saved my money, and I did it. So, and it's here. Like, I had a vision in my head and now it's here. What I'm experiencing is a push and pull between like doing what makes me happy and, committing to or fulfilling that like expectation that other people have of me because I'm an actress, and also that I kind of have of myself too. Like, it's not just other people. I think other people just kind of reinforce that expectation that I already have on me, because that was a major a major fear of mine coming out of college, was like, am I going to fall off, or am I going to stay focused, stay on the path to success? because I remember I took this class and one of my professors said, like, the only way to become successful is to audition. You should be auditioning 4 to 5 times a week. And I'm like, I don't even get that many callbacks, like not callbacks, but like if I submit to a project on my own, I don't even get that many like, hey, we want you to audition. Like it might be like every 2 weeks that I get 1 or 2 auditions. If I try to balance everything at once too, like, all right, you have a full-time job that's in New York, so you also have to deal with the commute and all this extra nonsense. But now you have a podcast, and now you're also trying to balance acting and auditioning and maybe even getting an agent, which I feel like an agent would be useful right now, but we're not talking about that. Anyway, so all of that, but at the same time, you want to do other projects that you have a networking event that you're planning for, you have a short film that you're working on or that you want to work on. And actually with the short film thing, I was talking to my pop and he brought this up. Like he was like, so how's the short film going? And I was like, what short film is he talking about? Because I haven't talked to him about a short film in like I don't know how long. So I'm like, what is he talking about? The podcast? But I just told you about the podcast. So what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, the short film that you were writing, whatever. And I was just like, I realized what he was talking about is some conversation I had with him about how I was working on this short film and I had wrote a couple of short films, but never did anything with it, and I kind of stopped. I'm not saying that I'm giving up on writing short film. It just I didn't have the equipment that I wanted in my brain. Sometimes I overthink and it becomes more of a like, oh, I don't have the things that I need to like make this what I want it to be. Same thing with the podcast. And so he just reminded me about the short film ordeal, and I was like, oh, you're right. That is something else that I was working on and then stopped because I was getting in my head and I didn't really like how it was coming out. I felt like people weren't going to care about it, and I didn't have all the resources and tools that I would like to have in order to bring it to life the way I envision in my head. All of this. And it's just like, girl, now I'm thinking about starting to write again because I'm like, just make it happen. Start small. And then I actually started to see things come up on my feed about like starting that not podcast, starting that short film and like getting it out there, even if it's small and it's just your iPhone shooting something with your friends. Like, just do it. And also a lot of the projects that I embark on, I end up doing it alone. Not saying that I don't want other people, but it just ends up being that way. Like, I'm in my room by myself and I just kind of do it on my own. I don't know where that comes from, but it probably comes from somewhere. Anyway. And yes, I know that I'm young right now and theoretically I have time to make mistakes, to like, mess around, whatever. I guess I'm just concerned because this is my career is something that is very important to me. The fruits of my passions, I want to see it happen. I want to be able to live that lifestyle, and there's no way. The thing is, there's no way to guarantee that any of this will actually be something. And I get that. I do. But I also feel like there are steps to take to help me feel less dubious to not I think I used that right. Okay, whatever. to help to prevent me from feeling dubious about my efforts and actually feel like what I'm doing is something that will directly affect my career later. And I just don't know how much I'm on that path. Am I rebranding myself so much so that I'm losing sight of the actual goal, or am I really truly just figuring, like literally experiencing myself figuring out figure I'm trying to pronounce this word so bad. Figuring out what I want to do and what matters to me. Is that what's happening? I hope so. I really hope so, because I would really hate to wake up one day and years have gone by and I'm like, dang, I could have been doing X, Y, and Z with my time when I was 23. You know, I don't want that to be the case, but I also really want to stay true to what I want to do. I don't know. I think that also what I want to focus on is practicing consistency with something. And my podcast, I have been consistent so far. I did miss a week. I don't know if anybody peeped that, but I did miss a week. But we're back. We're back. It's a lot. It's a whole process. But I'm here. I mean, listen, I posted a TikTok the other day and it was like 50 views. I was like, excuse me? Like, I'm so used to being stuck in like the 300, 200 range that when I saw the 50 views, I was like, now y'all playing with me now. Today y'all just playing with me because 50 views. Are you serious? 3 likes, and I don't even understand the algorithm either anymore. I try to do the SEO, whatever the heck it's called. I try to do the tips that people on TikTok with a huge following tells us to do, but sometimes I feel like it's a load of crap. My answer is, it's okay to have many passions, and it's okay to want to pursue them all. It's okay to pursue them all. We only have one life at the end of the day. And however you choose to live your life is up to you. And if this right now, in the present moment, if this is what's important to you, if this is what you want to cater attention to, this is what you want to put your attention on, what pulls your attention, then so be it. Sometimes life doesn't have to be as hard as we kind of make it in our heads. Sometimes it's as simple as, this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna pursue that and see how it goes. And if I've learned that actually I don't want to do this anymore, I'm gonna change and turn around and do something else, that's okay too. You check that off the list. Now you're zoning in on the things that you actually are interested in, the things that actually matter to you, the things that you're passionate about. Maybe I didn't need to speak to my professor. Maybe I just needed to talk to y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna still talk to him though, because he might have better words to help me. Because sometimes I just need, like words of encouragement, so I can just feel like, okay, I can do this. I am on the right track. I'm not crazy for thinking these thoughts, and I'm okay. I think that I'm going to try to be less dubious in my efforts and just do. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 6. This has been Thoughts of an Overthinker with your host, Makai Iman, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Boom.